What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Thank you, as always, for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Miggs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapache, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. Holy hell, what a weekend of fights we had! Is it hot here in Las Vegas, or is it just Manny Pacquiao? Holy hell, we got plenty to talk about, and uh, let's just say that the boxing world is a little loss of words of what happened on Saturday, and we're definitely going to be going into great details with that. Along with, hey, we have ourselves an undisputed heavyweight champion once more. Holy hell, we're definitely going to be talking about that, and of course, the aftermath, our opinion slash how our predictions turned out, along with a couple of other stories that kind of caught our attention here with one Turkey al Sheik, and on the side one Lamont Roach Jr. that we're going to be talking about here momentarily. But holy hell, what a weekend of fights! You know what? There wasn't even a UFC this weekend. Holy hell, that kind of got lost in the shuffle with all these other fights that were taking place. But before we get into all of those details, because we got plenty to talk about when it comes to those, Andrew, what's going on, dude? How was your Sunday afternoon going?
Hey, what's going on, Miguel? What's going on, you guys? Doing good. Had a great night of fights. Just catching up on all the boxing and waiting for you, man. Waiting for you to wake up.
Yes, never in a million dreams did I expect to have a "you up" text from Andrew, but he sure hell sent me one this morning, and I was like, because I tried to catch all the fights last night, right? I went to sleep at 3 a.m. I woke up this morning, I was like, "You up?" I'm like, "Oh shit, yes, I'm up, I'm up."
They
But
robbed them. They robbed them, bro. I don't want to wait until 7:30. Manny
that is
Pacquiao
so
should
nice.
be out of debt this morning.
Well, he might be anyway. Whether or not it's for the
Nah,
vote, it's another
we'll
story.
see. We'll
We'll
see.
see. All right. Well, that is the spicy news of the day. Which we want to start with that. We're going to talk about is Usyk first. What do
Oh
you think?
no, we got to start from the
All
bottom,
right.
work your way to the top. Yes, sir.
All right.
There's two greatness, right?
Mhm.
Two how do you say that? Two fighters that claimed greatness one more time, right? I don't even know if you could cement any more cementing of cement on these guys' legacy,
Mhm.
but both men. So it don't matter where we start, bottom to top, it's all greatness today.
All right. Fair enough. Well, when we did our fight predictions, we were going to go in order of chronological order, I should say. So, what was the first fight or the first important fight of the day, Saturday morning, or at least Pacific Standard Time? Ring walks were around 2:30, I believe it was. Alexander Usyk taking on Daniel Dubois in the rematch that packed the house in the UK, packed the friggin' stadium over there. You best believe everybody was there. I saw Lennox Lewis was there. It seemed like everybody was really thinking that Dubois was going to be able to pull it off. As a matter of fact, even my pops was like, you know what, Dubois looks ready this time, though. He looks ready this time. Dad, I don't know. I don't know that sometimes he just kind of wilts up here, upstairs, you know. But if you guys have been living under a rock for the last 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, um, Alexander Usyk defeated Daniel Dubois for the second time. This time by KO. I think it was considered TKO last time, but this time by KO in the fifth round, winning the IBF Heavyweight Championship, unifying with the belts he already has, making him an undisputed heavyweight champion for the second time, still undefeated, and also having been undisputed champion at cruiserweight before this. Wow, uh, to um, to echo what Andrew was saying earlier, how much more can you cement? This is the most cemented of cements. If you can think of the Ten Commandments with those big old blocks of cement, this is pretty much what Alexander Usyk accomplished. Um, he basically did what he did in the first fight, only faster. Holy hell! I believe the first fight ended in the seventh, maybe eighth. I could be wrong there, but this one ended in the fifth. Alexander unifying the weight class one more time. Of course, that was the beginning of the day, right? That's the information that we heard as soon as it happened. I tried looking for it. I did not order that pay per view because I was like, well, PBC pay per view with Manny, Usyk, Dubois too. I decided to go. I'm Andrew, you'll be pleased to know that I did fork up the cash for the PBC pay per view this time. It was worth it. It was worth it, right? So I went ahead and spent the money on that. Um, Andrew, first and foremost, what was your impression of not just the victory by Usyk, but the fashion in which he did it?
The word great is going to be used a lot today. But I mean, seriously, what he's been able to accomplish in such a little professional career
Mm.
puts him up there with the best that have ever done it. You know, he's won gold. He was undisputed at cruiserweight. You know, the list goes on and on about Usyk. Really, it's about where he stands now. Is it top 10? Is it top 20? And right now I'm just talking about heavyweights, not talking about all time. We'll let him call the retirement before we say all time. But he's working the way up the list of the all-time greats right now. Actively, he's working his way up because of his resume. You know, when we came into this era, we talked about it being full of big men, right? These guys are 6'4", 6'6". Think Tyson might even be 6'7", if I'm not mistaken. But just a giant era of heavyweights, and how, oh yeah, you know, the little guys couldn't mess with these big men. I don't know if Tyson and Holyfield and all them, we had all these, you know, Tyson Fury might be the all-time great is what I was kind of proclaiming 2-3 years ago. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Lee Honish. Shout out to our mentor, Fight Net Radio. Should have opened up with that, damn it. He had it right from the beginning. And at a time when I was talking about big men, he was telling me Usyk was going to be the one standing at the end. He is. Now we're just saying, where's his greatness end, right? Now we're just putting him on the list. So shout out to Lee. Today would have been a Lee show. He would have replayed all the clips of him proclaiming Usyk is number one in this era, and he is. He absolutely is. Look, Deontay's on a comeback mission. You know, maybe if Usyk wanted to stick around a little longer, see if the guy could squeeze out another victory, just to, you know, just to say he did them all in his whole era. You know, it's kind of the four kings thing, something like that. But no, without it, doesn't really matter. Deontay really don't deserve it. This is just our little desire for what we thought this era was going to be, right? These four guys just all matching up against each other. But Usyk proved that the little man can win a big man era. Dominate, right? He didn't just win, he dominated in big man era. I know Tyson Fury would probably have a thing to say, one or two things to say.
He already has.
And it's justifiable. It's justifiable. I think I was a little bit like, really? On the second fight, but it don't matter. My opinion doesn't matter. It's what the stats say, right? And Usyk's fans are going to be able to argue that he won all of his fights, which he has forever. So that's just, it is what it is. But yeah, dude, he totally made it about him. And yeah, no, it's now it's like Usyk versus Holyfield. Can you imagine how great that fight would have been? How, you know, quick both fighters were, because Holyfield was fast on his feet too. Tyson and Usyk in their prime. These are like great fights now. Now it's like, who really would have won? He's proven himself against the punch, the size. You know, he's been out dogged. I mean, again, he goes to someone's backyard. That's something that hasn't been talked about enough, is the travel. I know our guy has, but that was talked about is the travel that this man has put into other people's backyards to pull out victories. So, yeah, it's the UK got Ukraine has one, possibly top 5. He shot that high this weekend just off a resume, man. Like, stop it. When's it stop? One more thing. Very cool. Did you see the resemblance to Ali?
Oh no, I didn't see that. Like the comparison.
Same birthday.
What? Oh yeah. Shit, that's crazy.
Same 3-time undisputed champ. Same height. Same reach. There's hella comparisons. Kind of crazy, eh? That's a crazy stab. The same birthday. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool one. Shares the greatest heavyweight of both eras. These two eras. share the same birthday.
Damn, what a trip! No, I didn't see that. I mean, that didn't even occur to me to like look at, because I mean, it almost seemed like the majority of the attention coming into this weekend was on Dubois. I think a lot of people really thought he was going to pull it off, and maybe and you talked about it last week. That punch to the midsection, an inch or two higher, and we might have ourselves a new champ. At that time at least, and that could have been such a spoiler to everything. That could have been the monkey wrench. Usyk pulled through and got that victory in that first fight regardless, and kept that undefeated record intact. And even did it last night, right? So accomplished what he's accomplished, not just what you mentioned in a short amount of time, but did so with that O intact. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty crucial. I was reading some of the stuff that was going on, and I mean, it seemed as though, like, when I tuned in to try to catch whatever I was able to catch of it, Lennox Lewis was there, and he was talking about how this is his time, and the confidence that Dubois was coming into this fight with, and it looked like it was just really his time. And the fact that the fight took place over there, I think that's what most people were thinking. Like, all right, cool, let's go ahead and crown the new champ Dubois in his home country, and they were gonna get themselves another English heavyweight champion, and and he said no. Damn, it's funny. So Dubois, Fury, AJ, all English fighters, and he just mopped the floor with all those fucking. That's crazy, huh? I don't know. The English people are gonna start hating Usyk for what he's accomplished. Kind of like when Manny was just mopping the floor with all these Mexican boxers back in the day, calling him the Mexicutioner, and everybody's like, "Damn that Manny!" I was taking ours, or whooping our Mexican small asses. But
And I'll give Dubois credit that he put in a decent fight. He was way more aggressive in this fight. Looked like he was trying to put it on the line. He's facing a sharpshooter. He's facing just a talented man who knows how to counter, and he comes in aggressive, and he was eating the left hand, straight left hooks, and
those jabs, he was able to sneak those jabs in between, man.
Yeah, so it was just a great performance by Usyk, just on another level. We know Dubois. We talked about it, the chin, the heart. Soon as he seen it wasn't working, look, the second knockdown I give to Usyk. Once again, the first one, it's just like, damn, Dubois, I just can't do it with the young man. Now, this is the fastest we've seen him go out now. This is round 5, I believe it was. It was later in the rounds on the first fight, 8 and 10, I think, for him and Joyce for Usyk's first fight, and then Joe Joyce. So it has gotten easier in round 5, because if anyone noticed, right after the ref stopped it, he gets up and just walks to his corner. There is no stagger. There is no help.
I actually thought when he was walking towards his corner, he like crossed paths with Usyk for a brief second, and I actually thought he was just gonna go congratulate him. No, he didn't congratulate him. He just walked right by. He's like, I'm pissed right now. I'm gonna go to my corner and retire to my corner. 38 years old, Usyk. 27-year-old Dubois. Quite the age disparity. We're going to talk about the age disparity later on in the in the show, because obviously the main event of Pacquiao and Barrios. But so of course, the very first thing that every media member wants to ask, and the question on everyone's mind, including fans and media members, is what's next for Usyk. Usyk did mention that maybe one more fight after this was in order. Me and my pops were talking about it. We thought, you know what, if Dubois ends up pulling away with the decision, if he ends up getting the win, chances are this one more fight after that Usyk was talking about will be the rubber match with Usyk. I'm sorry, with Dubois, having them being 1-1 at that point, and having the third fight to be the tiebreaker. I thought that's the direction things were going to go if Dubois came away with a victory. He did not. So that being said, well, who was in the ring there with him as well? Joseph Parker came up to him and said, "Hey, dude, listen." And then of course Usyk in there, his broken English, but he was able to get the message across. He's like, "Let me rest, let me rest." And he's like, "Oh, bro, enjoy your holiday. Yeah, by all means, just don't forget, who's waiting for you here." Of course, now Fury going to social media saying, "Hey, Usyk, let's do it one more time." That's what he has in mind. Fury, I'm saying. And then of course the sideshow, Jake Paul. Going in there doing the whole I want Usyk. Of course he wants everybody, right? He wants and we'll talk about him here momentarily, because I read recently that Gilberto Ramirez had to undergo shoulder surgery or some sort of surgery recently, like yesterday or something like that. So I don't know if that was maybe one of the reasons why Jake Paul decided to go in this direction, because Jake Paul did do the face-off with Ramirez after his fight with Chavez Jr., and maybe this kind of pushes things back a little bit. Maybe he's not going to have sort of the Ramirez this soon. I mean, because the surgery. So he's looking elsewhere, right? Jake Paul's looking elsewhere. He's looking at AJ. He talked about AJ. Hell, now he's even talking about Usyk. That one seems very far-fetched. I hope they don't go that direction. Usyk, Jake Paul, I'm talking about. AJ, it sounds more logical. It seems like that one might be a little bit easier to make. But what do you think, Andrew? Who do you think Usyk should fight next? Do you think he should fight next? Do you think, all right, this is a perfect time to call it quits? Boom, right off into the sunset. I did see, I don't know if you saw the video I sent you of Joe Rogan pulling out his phone, talking about the fight purses for this particular fight. So should Usyk call it and hang him up, or one more?
I don't know if those purses are real. That Turkey Ali had responded to that and said this is So I don't know if those are actually accurate numbers. I'm hoping they are. You know me, but because Turkey came out and kind of freaking said, hey, whoever's saying this is what's hurting the sport, I believe is what he said. Hopefully it's not Turkey once again downgrading the pay scale of fight. You know what I mean? Like, gotta watch out with these guys, but whatever. That's what I heard. It doesn't matter who we want to see him fight. We gotta say what His Excellency has already stated, and that is that he wants to see Usyk fight Moses Utama. So that's most likely going to be Usyk's next opponent, bro. Doesn't really matter who we want.
Another undefeated heavyweight, right? Almost same amount of fights. Dude turned pro in 2023. So think about that. He turned pro in 2023, yo.
Usyk was breakdancing when he heard that one. That's a sparring match. Come on. It very well could be Sheeraz's future too, right? I know he has a good win over Berlanga, but these are the type of things that we've seen Riyadh season come up with. Who they want, they get. What we want is what we get, right? So he says Moses, it's most likely going to be Moses. He told Canelo was going to fight Sheeraz. It looks like that's happening. If I'm Usyk, I'm also interested on how popular this Opatai, the cruiserweight.
Opatai. Yeah.
How much interest His Excellency has in him moving up, or maybe even moving down at a catchweight to face him. If the numbers are real, Miguel, I'm hanging out until I can't hang out anymore. Sorry. You're talking generational money. You're talking about setting up your family for, decades, right? So, no. Usyk's in a very good place. He hasn't been touched. Look, we got to give him credit to his healthy life, right? We've never heard of him being a partier. We've never seen the little suspect videos, right? They're like, oh, what's that on the table in the background, right? And you see bottles and maybe a white substance on the table. You're like, what is all this? What's going on, right? Never with that, obviously. Never, nothing like that with Usyk. Actually, a religious man, a clean man. A lot of athletes are. Go ahead.
Just to add to that, no, what's the word? Samples, no drug tests that came up a little suspicious, any of that kind of stuff. So none of that to add to what you were saying, but go ahead.
Police reports, TikTok videos. He's been clean.
Type shit.
Yeah, he's been clean. We're seeing this a lot more with the athletes nowadays. Better supplements, clean lives, healthier eating. All of a sudden, we have fighters that are in their 40s winning bouts, and Usyk is a example of that. If you stay clean, you live healthy, you can be athletic for a very long time. I mean, this guy went through the amateurs. He's been doing this for a while. There's still that little rumor going around, a rumor or fact that, what is it, for 15 rounds? He can't put his back on the ropes during sparring. If he does, they have to go another 15. Something like that. You heard about that?
No, I didn't hear about that at all. No.
Yeah, maybe I'm putting too much. 12 rounds, maybe. Maybe he has to go 12 rounds. But either way,
still though, yeah,
that's how he stays off those damn ropes against the big guys, right?
Mhm. And this guy Moses, if I can pronounce his last name right, Itauma, he's more closer as far as like size goes. I have him here as 1 inch or maybe like an inch and a half taller than Usyk. So it'll be, Usyk wouldn't be fighting these. And you know what? I know he's a little bit more even as far as like Dubois goes, but weight wise, I mean, I don't know how much heavier he is. Obviously, there's no weight limits in heavyweight, so I'm not entirely sure how much heavier Moses is than Usyk, but I have to assume he would be. Um, but damn, yeah, this one a little bit more size, I would say, as far as like height goes. Um, I it. I understand what you're saying. If Turkey says this is the fight that's going to happen next, that's the fight that's going to happen next. So I guess we can do away with everybody else that we're talking about, right? The possible Parker or even a third. Was it third? Yeah, third with Tyson. It looks like none of those are going to happen, right? But again, we have to wait and see. For all we know, maybe it was just like, no, fuck it, I'm done. I'm calling it a career. Again, we mentioned Lomachenko recently, his former teammate, calling it a career and hanging up the gloves. So maybe he's going to go in that direction. But like you said, if Turkey is willing to fork up this kind of money for what could be a fucking glorified sparring session against Moses, yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't take it.
Moses, Opatai, or Jake Paul. Look, if they want Usyk to be the one that cracks Jake Paul, why should he say no? Right? Jake Paul's disrespected boxing enough with his two little last fights of taking a grandfather in Mike Tyson in a freaking knee brace and then taking Chavez Jr. 2 weeks out of rehab. I think he's made enough money on the boxing world. Let's go ahead and crack him. If His Excellency wants that to be the heavyweight champ of the world, the Ali of this era, fuck him. Let's do it. And I hope Usyk cracks him. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul's jumping a few levels there, stepping in the ring, trying to act like he's hard against that man. He knows damn well he can't go fucking 3 minutes with that man. If Usyk wants to end it, he ends it. Matter of fact, the Moses guy, with you telling me he started in 2023, it's so damn disrespectful to even put their names in the same sentence. You know what I'm saying? But this is the kind of guy that's running boxing right now, and we'll talk about that later. No, those are both cakewalks that I'd be totally interested in. Yeah, how about this, Usyk? You're helping out teammates that you're about to retire here too in these last two fights, right? You can look at all these angles. You know, it's not like they're asking him to take on the next, heavyweight great here. Now, you give me Jake Paul, you give me some cruiserweight or some guy who started 2 years ago, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Yeah, and logically, we would think that Usyk would be all in those, those circumstances, right? I mean, that Jake Paul is just very juicy, very juicy. I know that it's not going to be as far as like threat levels any one of the other guys, right, Opataya or Moses, but publicity wise, if, let's just say for the sake of argument, it is on Netflix or something like that. Like, you best believe it's going to be a big deal. And for Usyk to turn down a possible paycheck like that, I don't anticipate him doing that. But he's never really been the kind of guy who like is driven by money per se.
They will do 80,000 people across the pond for that fight, guaranteed.
For
Jake Paul versus Alex. I'm dead serious, bro. They love seeing Americans go down. Could you imagine Usyk getting a fight? The one obnoxious, totally obnoxious, and Jake Paul would play it up. Come on, I see him wearing American flag into the ring, right? And he'd straight get cakewalked on us, and everyone would love it. They'd be drinking and singing and probably a riot out front after that happens. No, they love seeing Americans fall. They want that crossover money. Then look, if Jake Paul's numbers are real here in America and you take them over there and put them in a big stadium with Usyk, they should do great numbers on this fight. So, and like His Excellency said, I think we're all done with the Jake Paul show. Maybe it's time just to cash him out. We'll do what the UFC won't. How about that? Sorry, UFC, dropping the ball all over the place, man. Didn't fight our champ. Didn't fight the YouTube champ. We'll do it. We'll do it for you.
So what do you think would be next for Dubois?
Miguel's like, Miguel's we'll just go moving on.
I'm just gonna glaze over that comment and move on to the next topic. No, because there was
Go
UFC
ahead.
this weekend.
Go
But
ahead.
so what
Oh
about?
yeah, I did see that. I did see
Oh,
that.
that was the
I
weekend.
didn't watch it, but I did hear about those two guys. Hey, kind of weird. The guy is 0-2 and gets another main event shot. That was kind of weird. I was like, I thought Serrano and Taylor are the only ones that could pull that off.
No, it happens all the time in the UFC. Trust me, it does.
0-2, and they still.
I mean, they're not 0-2, but I mean, like,
yeah,
it's
because
like
I heard the one guy lost twice to him, right?
Oh, you meant like in there? I think you meant coming leading into this fight. Yeah. But they fought once in 2012. They fought another time. This was like years ago. So obviously, another time, I think 2022, 2023 was the last time. So yes, Dustin Poirier was 2-0 against Max Holloway. And Holloway, because it's kind of funny when Holloway debuted in the UFC, he fought Dustin Poirier, and that's one of the losses that he has on his record. Okay, so it's kind of weird how like life came around, right? It's like, all right, you ruined my UFC debut, but I'm gonna ruin your fucking retirement fight.
Nice.
So
nice.
That's how it turned around. Yes. So for Dubois, you mentioned it earlier. Wilder, is that worth chasing? Is that worth something? I mean, having lost twice to him here, I don't know if maybe I don't think I would think that Fury wouldn't be interested in the fight with Dubois. I don't think, at least. We already saw what happened with AJ and Dubois. So is it worth chasing a fight with Wilder for Dubois? I mean.
It makes sense for the boxing landscape for Dubois to fight Wilder before he fights Fury. Because if he was to beat Fury, just say in an upset, huge upset, he defeats Fury, nobody wants Dubois Usyk again, right? But then if you put him in with Wilder and he defeats Wilder, let's say the winner of that fight gets Fury, the winner of that Fury fight gets another crack at Usyk if he's still there. Usyk has two other options. He has Paul and he has Moses, who obviously His Excellency wants to see him face. So while he's dealing with whatever options he's going to take from that bunch, these three can maybe fight it out in a little Usyk tournament. But that's where I would go. And you heard about Zhang, right? Is it Zhang and Fury?
Yeah, I believe that was what I thought. Yeah.
Zhang and Fury, it's a great fight. That's a great fight for Zhang to try to get him, into some kind of position at a run at the title. I'm not really interested in the Joseph Parker fight. I don't know. I'm just one of those that think Joseph Parker's had enough shots. He seems to be a boring fighter. I don't know. I don't really want to. I just have no interest in him versus Usyk. I think Usyk's at the point of his career. If it's not making him a lot of money or giving him a notch on his legacy, moving on, And like I said, the Moses fight and the Jake Paul, those are both money related right there. That's all that's about. And then the winner of Wilder, if we could somehow get Wilder, a Usyk fight, if Wilder could beat those two opponents to get him in line, that's a legacy thing. Just because these were the four men that kind of came into this era. I'd like to see all of them face each other at least once, But Usyk has already done a great job of defeating everyone twice, basically.
Yeah.
And Wilder might just be odd man out because he never made it. You know what I'm saying? He's the Buddy McGirt of this era. I don't know if you ever seen, but Buddy McGirt was like the only guy that never fought Julio Cesar Chavez, eh? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was it really?
Yeah. He had like 3 championship title fights where the winner of this fight will get Julio Cesar, and he loses them all. And it's like, that's where he fucked up, buddy. Maldrick Taylor beats him.
Yeah,
I think Whitaker beats him twice or something like that.
Well, yeah, Whitaker belt. Because like it's almost, I kind of get the impression that maybe like the heavyweight division is kind of maybe waiting for Usyk to leave. At that point, because like let's say for the sake of argument, right? Dubois fights not Fury, Wilder, right? Knocks him out, right? By that point, hopefully enough time has passed that Usyk has maybe said, all right, fuck it, I'm out of here, or he's gonna fight somebody like Jake Paul or something, and then right off into the sunset. So can these guys wait them out? Can Dubois wait out when Usyk leaves, or Fury if he decides to come back, or anybody else for that matter, maybe Joseph Parker, and just kind of hold off a little bit, like let's wait until this dude, because he's 38, he's on the way out. Not that any of these other guys are spring chickens either. I'm sure they're up there in age as well, but at this point, he's mopped the floor with the guys who are the top guys who earned a shot against him twice. Clearly, they can't beat him. Is it worth just waiting it out? I'm just saying, all right, let's fucking wait until this dude leaves and then figure out the rest.
Matters how much money or and maybe that's not even the right way to say it. How much faith do you have in your fighter, right? How much do you believe in him? He's 38. He's older. If you had the young gun and thought the next great thing, no, I think boxing always needs to see the ball keep rolling, right? We want to see the upset, the champion lose. Hey, he's too old. Like, it's not we want to see it, but it's just something that naturally has to happen in the sport.
Mhm.
We don't like a bunch of vacant titles making a champ. There's like a void in the history books, right?
There's a gap. Yep.
There's a gap. There you go. So no, the selfish part of me wants to see Usyk stick this thing out until he can't anymore, right? That's why we feed them more money, and we hope that the longer they stay in, or we give them friends like Floyd Mayweather gets friends that sells him a bunch of things, and we keep them in debt. You know, they always say that.
Yes.
It was the man that made me buy that watch.
Yeah. Let's find that jeweler, have him make a killer ass like cross. It's like, we know you're religious, Usyk. Look at this 30 carat fucking cross here. Are you willing to purchase this for $10 million?
So it's the casino that made them spend, what is it, $1,200 a bottle at the nightclub after the fight. And like, come on, you guys, seriously. But so no, keep them in debt or keep them rich. That's how you keep them coming back until Father Time gets to him, right?
Mm-hmm. And he passes on that torch.
That torch. Yes, sir.
At least we know three guys who aren't going to be taking that torch from him. You know, we already twice they had two opportunities at him. There's kind of like, other names out there that won't get a crack at Usyk, and I'm not saying they deserve it necessarily, but we talked about Parker, we talked about Wilder, Zhang, Martin Bakoli, right? He's a heavy hitter, big, heavy-handed guy who was surprisingly knocked out by Parker. But hey, when he comes back, I'm sure he's going to be worth something. He's a heavy hitter. Some hitting against somebody like Wilder or something, or even Parker, or not Parker, Dubois would be pretty interesting. But it's kind of crazy the kind of I guess the void that Usyk will leave, should he leave with that undefeated record and not pass it on towards somebody else. Floyd did it. There's very few people that can actually get away with doing that, and it looks like Usyk is in prime position to actually do it. Whether or not he actually does it is another story, of course, but time will tell, because Father Time is undefeated, right?
Yes, sir.
But great card, man. That arena was packed. That stadium was fucking packed, man. I didn't see the whole fight. I mean, I saw like afterwards. I didn't order the thing, right? Because that was part of the package, the bundle that Turkey was offering. I didn't order that. I just went with the Ring 3 card in New York, and I didn't bother paying the extra amount of money. Although to some degree, I probably wish I did, but the rest of the card was okay. Nothing spectacular. But anyway, yeah, that arena was packed. I can only imagine the seats, how pricey those fucking seats were going to be over there in the UK.
Talking about prices, we got to talk about Canelo Crawford later on, but talking about prices. Go ahead, back to you, Miguel.
But price to pay for a championship. PBC, Amazon Prime pay-per-view, which, again, as I mentioned earlier in the show, you'll be very pleased to know that I did fork up the cash for this pay-per-view. I figured this one was worth the money. The undercard was solid. I was very, very invested in this pay-per-view card, and I said, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just go ahead and fork up the cash, and I went ahead and paid for it. So, the few pay-per-views that I will pay for, it was worth it. So I figured, let me fork up the cash and get this PBC pay-per-view. I don't know how many more pay-per-views PBC plans to put on, because we'll talk about it later on in the show with Gervonta and Lamont Roach. But until we get there, pretty solid pay-per-view card. Even starting with the prelims. If you watch the PBC prelims on YouTube, they are free when the event starts, so you can pretty much catch every single fight, which wasn't a thing back in the day. Sometimes you weren't able to catch those super early ones if you didn't attend the fight. I mean, but you're able to catch every one of these. You watch the primary ones, right? The co-main event and the main event. I want to talk about real quick what is, I don't know what you would call it, but the not the main event, not the co-main event, but Pitbull Cruz against Salcido, Omar Salcido. So a bit of controversy with this one right off the bat, right? Fierro, Angel Fierro, did not make weight. He didn't even attempt to make weight. He wasn't even at the weigh-in. Me and my dad were watching the press conference, and he was like, "Damn, Fierro looks big, right?" And we talked about it, not just big like shoulder because he has some shoulders, but weight wise, he looked like he was okay. I mean, he would look like a big dude, right? I mean, like for 140, and it looked like he was on weight. It didn't look like he was necessarily drained or anything like that when I was looking at him at the press conferences. And the day of, we find out that he's not going to make not the day of the fight, but the day of the weigh-in. Turns out that he's not going to even attempt it. So, Andrew, you mentioned that you even read that he fucking passed out or that he fainted or something. To that extent, those weight cuts can be pretty dangerous. So once that happened, trainer pulled out Robert Garcia, said, fuck it, pull him out. And we have ourselves a void. And in stepped in Salcido, Omar Salcido. I'm not sure if Salcido was on the undercard already. I don't remember right offhand, but he was pretty much in decent, shape. He fights at lightweight, if I'm not mistaken, 135, but this fight being at 140. He stepped in 48 hours notice, and he did what he could. He didn't really put up that much of a fight. He was taking shots pretty much. It was the majority of the fight was Pitbull Cruz fighting his fight, coming forward, landing shots. I don't remember right offhand if he dropped Salcido, but he hurt him several times and ultimately came away with the unanimous decision victory. I don't know, right? I haven't heard any update on the condition of Fierro, but it's safe to say that we can forget about any sort of rematch between Pitbull Cruz and Fierro, especially after what happened here with him having a bow out because of the weight. What was your first impression, Andrew, when you heard that Fierro was going to have to pull out of the fight?
Bad, tough luck for for both fighters. We've seen it before though. When the last few pounds these guys are trying to lose is the hardest. We've heard that story many times. From what I read, he passed out, and Garcia didn't like it, so he had him rushed to the hospital. I was trying to find the statement that Garcia actually put out. I don't know if you had it or not. I can't locate it right now though. But yeah, it looked like it was a total trainer call. Garcia has always been a safety first for his fighters, which is no problem. That's probably the type of trainer you actually want. Instead of someone just saying, get him up, right? Put him back in. So tough break for Fierro, mostly because, like you said, that's probably his shot is gone. Right, he's gonna have to start from the bottom, work his way up again. It won't be as hard to get him back to the top. Right, he has good name, he has a history with the Cruz, so there's something with the PBC can work with as long as they're in business. He'll probably be floating around those undercards, so he'll get another shot eventually. But yeah, his shot at the pay-per-view probably is gone.
I found something that I think was posted on the Ring Magazine website or Instagram account. Yeah, Angel Fierro's trainer Robert Garcia on pulling Fierro from the Cruz rematch. Quote, I want to start off by apologizing to all the fans that made the trip to Las Vegas to Pitbull and his team and everyone involved in the fight. So first and foremost, a formal apology from Fierro's corner, in this particular case, Robert Garcia. He goes on to say, I made the decision this morning to not allow my fighter, Angel Fierro, to cut any more weight and instructed our team to take him to the hospital. I have a responsibility to not only prepare my fighter to fight, but also to keep him safe. The last few pounds were going to be too dangerous for him to cut, and I made the decision to pull him. Again, we apologize to everyone involved. So they didn't specify specifically here any sort of fainting or anything like that, but if he sees that his fighter is having an extremely difficult time getting those last few pounds off to the point where it could potentially be detrimental to his health, then Robert Garcia pulled the plug and said, no, fuck it, we're not going to do it. And in comes Salcido. So it sucks. It's a bad, what's the word? Bad break, I guess, in this case.
Without him being a doctor, it had to have been something that they were obviously seeing, right?
Nothing like, oh shit, his blood pressure is this or blood pressure is that. It's like, no, no, no. Clearly he looks weak. Clearly he looks like he's faint. He's not in
Can't
a
stay
condition.
up.
Yeah,
He
he can't stay.
can't stand. Is he standing up? No, he's not standing up. So he's just laying on the ground. You look, you know, turn up the heat. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah, he's just lying on the ground mumbling about something, how he can't breathe or something. No, turn it up. All right, turn it up. Just give him the spit bucket. Let him puke a little bit more, and he'll be fine by tomorrow morning.
rinse the water in your mouth and spit it out.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a cup. Just spit into it every 30 seconds. There's an extra pound off.
No,
Shave
I
your
hope
head.
he's all right. I hope he's all right.
If they took this kind of precaution, I'm sure he's fine now. I'm sure they rehydrated his ass like a motherfucker as soon as he made it to the hospital. But as of right now, no updates. But I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure if there was something wrong or terribly bad that happened to him, we would have probably heard an update by now. At least something that's serious. Since that isn't the case, I guess no news is good news. Chances are he's probably doing okay.
I'm surprised His Excellency hasn't tweeted out how he's a dog for not making. No, I'm just.
Yeah. How he's unprofessional.
Yeah,
and
sparring
deserve
partner.
a fucking spot on the which we will talk about momentarily. But unfortunately, that fight didn't take place. Regardless, Pitbull Cruz came away with the decision victory over Salcido, unanimous decision. Yes, this was at 140 pounds. We will talk about that a little bit later because that is a topic of conversation that I have on the docket. But that being said, that takes us to the co-main event. Sebastian Fundora defending his WBC super welterweight title against Tim Tszyu in a rematch of a bloody, gory, epic fight that took place a couple of years back in the same city, Las Vegas, or as Ricky Hatton once said, back at the scene of the crime. We are back at the scene of the crime for one Tim Tszyu, who came back and, well, the fight didn't go his way. You know, I got to say, I predicted that Tim was going to come away with the victory. I did think that he was landing some really good shots in their first fight against Sebastian before the cut. So I thought, you know what? If that cut isn't there, Tim Tszyu wins. That's what I thought, right? At least the first time around. So I'm thinking, as long as there isn't a cut like that this time around, then he should be fine. And then he should be able to take Fundora. It won't be easy by any stretch because we've seen that height disparity and we've seen how much of an advantage. And you know, I think we're at a point now where Fundora is really starting to take advantage of that. Oftentimes he doesn't. He fights in close and he gets hit. He gets it. And sure enough, Tim Tszyu was able to crack him. That just wasn't enough. He was not able to do anything to the towering inferno. Sebastian Fundora successfully defended his WBC super welterweight title by stopping. Well, I don't know how you call it stopping, but he retired on the stool is what is technically the term. Tim Tszyu didn't come out for, I believe, the 8th round. I think it was in between, the 7th and 8th, where Tim said, no mas, I guess, right? Ironic that, that actually happened to his pops, too, when his dad fought Ricky Hatton. I believe it was the 11th round where he was like, I'm done. I'm not coming out for the 12th. But Fundora, to make this fight happen, Fundora decided to drop the WBO belt instead of fighting the mandatory challenger, which is Xander Zayas, who next week we'll see in action, as a matter of fact. He decided to come, and have this rematch, and I guess settle the score, unfinished business that he had with Tim Tszyu. And right off the bat, everybody is like, oh, he's ducking Zayas. He's ducking Zayas. He's going to drop the belt. He wants to fight with Tim Tszyu. We get it, but he's dropping the belt to not have to fight Zayas. I don't think Zayas beats this version of Sebastian. Let me just say that. After seeing Sebastian, yes, he did get hit, but holy hell, dropping Tim Tszyu in that first round, I think it was early on, Tim Tszyu was just not there. And, I want to say he was not there like it was his fault. I'm not trying to take any credit away from Fundora. But Fundora didn't let him do shit. Fundora was putting it on him hard. And yeah, he was getting caught. His nose was bloody. But, dude, Fundora's pop was just too much, to the point where Tim Tszyu had to throw in the towel. I don't know what to think about Tim Tszyu now. Like I was really on the hype train. I'm not call it hype train because he did deliver on some of his fights, but I was driving that train. I was like, you know what, Tim Tszyu he's gonna be something. He's gonna be the guy who's gonna be the top dog at 154 at one point. This could have been before, the first Fundora fight. It's a different Tim Tszyu. I don't know what it is. It's not there. It's not there. We talked about it. No head movement. I get it. But man, Fundora took advantage of that like a motherfucker. holy hell. Even the second he dropped, the second Tim Tszyu fell in that first round, Sebastian turned to his corner. Is like, fuck yeah, like that's right. Like we knew we were gonna get him. We knew we were gonna get him. So they came in super confident, defended his WBC belt. A lot of other things that we're gonna talk about here momentarily in regards to what comes next. But Andrew, what did you think of the performance? What did you think about the victory? What did you think about the way that the fight ended?
I'm thinking why your night wasn't for free. I gave you the fight of the night, bro. +4, honey. Right?
Yes.
Easy money, bro. It's easy money. Look, you guys, I gave you Rolly Romero earlier this year. I gave you Fandura last night. So I'm on a very good roll right now with these. These are probably going to be the two leading ones for upset of the year, if I'm not mistaken. You know, +400 and a plus, what was it, 800, I think, for Raleigh. Oh, my God. It was disgusting. So I'm done tooting my horn, but Miguel should have been for free last night. I should have bought you dinner and everything, bro.
She had a quick trip to the casino.
Yeah. No, but it was the fight of the night. That was the odd of the night, man. I didn't see it. Look, listen, there's levels to this. And I think one thing Lee always taught us was that anyone can build up a record, right? Mm-hmm. So while Tszyu was in Australia getting his little record going, had so many flaws, yet they weren't being exposed because they're matchmaking correctly. And who knows, maybe some of the fighters already knew what they were sparring partners going in, taking on the legend's son. So they're laying down a little, carrying him a little. Built up a record, but there's levels to this sport. And when you reach the top, these guys aren't laying down for you anymore. And when your weakness is exposed, it's really exposed. And I mean, it happened to Felix Trinidad, and now we've seen it happen with Tszyu. That these guys, they look untouchable. And obviously Trinidad for a lot longer than Tszyu, don't get it twisted. But the same kind of thing happened, seriously. Once that little flaw was found out, they were never the same, right? They were taking more defeats than they were victories. Tszyu looked like he quit last night. I know I've been throwing that word around a lot today with the Dubois and the Tszyu, but I mean, he did quit on his stool, right? So obviously it's a fact. It's not me thinking. I just want to know if this is the new Tszyu. Right? Things don't go your way. Are you just checking out? Because you ain't no legend, dog. Right? You can go over there to Australia and make your little money. Pull our boy's card and go to your little backyard and sell 10,000 seats and make your little money until you ride off into the sunset. But you're no Chavez. You're no Duran. I don't want to pay to watch you just in the 5th round say you're done. He's just a better man. Yeah, well, I have a lot of money to figure that out. Jesus. You know, you just get to pull that card, you know. I tried, but not a scratch on him. I know you bled a lot. I know you bled in the first fight more than 2. I'm being a dick right now, but it's kind of true. I hate it when a fighter quits and their face is pretty. I'm sorry. They're supposed to be warriors, right? Are you entertained? That's who you are. You're that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Sometimes in a boxing match, the other guy gets hurt really bad. That's the life you chose. I didn't choose it. You did. So I'm going to call it for what it is. You look pretty. You look pretty. Hey, you look good to be saying I'm done.
Which is kind of ironic considering it would have been the first fight where they should have pulled that fucking yes. Right, but they didn't. And then this is the one that they decided to like. I guess maybe it was he was feeling the shots. Maybe he wasn't really feeling the shots as much in that first fight because he also had Fundora hurt or like at least bloodied. So maybe and of course it was a last minute replacement, right? But it was maybe not necessarily the cuts or the abrasions on his face, but the trauma that it was causing. It's like, oh fuck, I'm getting my bell rung a lot. This is different than that first fight.
And it's it. And hold on, no, it's a different Fundura, like you said, bro. You started off with it right. He's a bully now. Now he's going to be a weight bully. You call him a weight bullier long enough, he's told me. Or he told me. He told us in the chat room. You guys said it long enough, so now I'm just going to do it. Bro, there's an avatar in there last night. Get the fuck out of here. That's a real life avatar, bro. That's a regular human being taking on part alien. I am convinced that man is part alien from the Primantis planet. That's what he
He,
looked like,
he,
Miguel.
he sure as hell looked like that.
His
He should dress up as that
wings,
for Halloween.
yeah, his wingspan, his arm length. He's just fucking smacking the shit out of him from 3 miles away.
Hmm.
Poor Zoo. I was like, this is bad, and I don't know who it's gonna get good for. You see how cocky he is. He's getting, and I don't. It's no knock, kid. Get as cocky as you want. That's the mentality you have to do the sport that you're doing. You can't be in there thinking you're not the guy. You are the guy. Be that guy.
We'll get to that momentarily.
Yeah, but he looked dangerous. Those are some dangerous combinations. He's got freakish advantages on this 154 division where he might be. I don't know how good you have to be to get on the inside if he's going to stay high and stay long.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very if you guys, for any of you horror fans, that scene with like Freddy Krueger in the dream with his arms are long as shit, right? If you ever watched that movie, that's what this is. He might as well have, blades at the end of his fucking gloves, because he was cracking Tim Zoo with everything. Tim, to Tim's credit, he was trying to get away out of his punches. It was obvious, right? Even the few times where he had his back up against the ropes, he was doing a pretty good job of getting out of it for the most part. But it's like that's pretty much how he spent the majority of his fight, trying to get out of the way and not so much his offense. Even though, again, he did connect. That's what I guess what makes Fundora very, very fun to watch, is that little bit of vulnerability. I kind of liken it like Miguel Cotto. I remember Miguel Cotto back in the day. That little bit of vulnerability that he has, and it's like, oh shit, he gets hit. Oh shit, every so often he gets a bloody nose or a bloody lip, and that's what Fundora has, considering how stacked that weight class is. Again, prior to this, I did think to myself, man, he's trying to avoid Xander. Holy shit, Xander does not beat this Fundora. I don't know if Virgil Ortiz does. I don't know if Boots Ennis does. These guys, I mean, Boots Ennis is just entering the weight class, right? But he might have one tune-up or another. I don't think it would be good for Boots to try to go after somebody like Fundora. I would love to see Fundora and Virgil Ortiz go at it. That one, man, that would be a tough one. But I'm probably jumping the gun here. What's next for Tim? Geez, that looks bad. He took a little bit of time off after his knockout defeat to Bakram, and he needed to kind of regroup. After that fight with Bakram where he lost, he said, I'll have to really think about this one because I don't know what went wrong in that one. He talked about how he needed to take a little bit of time to kind of heal. This was a pretty serious ass whooping. Not to the point where he got knocked the fuck out, but to the point where he was coherent enough to think, I'm gonna get knocked the fuck out. Let me just call it quits right now. What the hell is next for Tim? This is a tough one. And in this like Shark Tank of a weight class, what the hell is next for him?
Well, I'm going to jump the gun here and talk about what Turkey tweeted, because that's what's next for him. Unfortunately, it's not a spot in Riyadh season, so the money's done, right? PBC has no. I don't think they can use him anymore. He has 3 losses now on PBC cards. Yeah, he doesn't look relevant right now. He quit on his stool at a very young age without a cut on him. I don't like it. I don't know where he goes. Maybe Australia call out a Connor Ben. He can try to make some side money, right? Just selling to his home fans, but the home fans have to buy into it. So he needs to take a name. So maybe a Connor Ben moves up. We've seen him. Didn't he jump to 160, right? Why not go to 140? 154, excuse me. 154. So something like that, a little sideshow. But I got to tell you, that guy that put out that tweet, Mr. Excellency, Riyadh guy, he looks like he'd make a few phone calls to stop all of his fighters from giving him any kind of check at this point, right? Where you might get that call, work with him, you're not working with us anymore. And Zoo's now out. He's out of the picture. So, yes, it's going to be a fight like someone who's not totally in the fight game right now, isn't looking for a Riyadh match. Go and pick up a few scraps over there in Australia, but that's all I see left for Zoo. I think his time as a professional fighter in overseas is done.
Let me go ahead and refer to that tweet that you were talking about, because I did pull it up here, which, by the way, was answered by Brian Campbell, which I'll get to in a second. But Turki Al-Sheikh goes on to say, I said to you from the beginning, Tim Zoo does not deserve to be on a Riyadh season or Ring Magazine card. He can be useful as a sparring partner for a champion in Riyadh season. So, in response to that, one of the commentators from yesterday, color commentator Brian Campbell, who has a YouTube show as well, he says, absolutely classless tweet from Turkey earlier tonight regarding Tim Tszyu. There is no place for this in boxing. There is no place in boxing for this kind of bullshit. So he tried to answer them. Now, mind you, as of right now, PBC and PBC guys, some are working with Turkey, like Benavides and a couple of others, but Brian Campbell not being one of them. He is with Prime, Amazon Prime and PBC, as is Tim Tszyu. So he has yet to work with them. At least I don't think so. I don't remember right offhand if he was a commentator on any one of those Riyadh season cards. But it's a response. It's pretty harsh for him to go that direction. Not to say that Turkey is wrong by any stretch. Maybe he's right. But it just seems for the guy who's signing the checks to call you that, seems pretty harsh. But who says no to this guy? Who tells this guy no? Who tells this guy, yeah, don't send that to it. That's pretty tasteless. It's classless. You don't have to go that route. He's already. Why kick a man while he's down? Well, he didn't give two fucks about it, apparently, right? He kicked some dirt in his face while he was down. So Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman out of the question.
Yes, now that I believe Keith Thurman's looking at Charlo, right? I want to say they're trying to work that matchup right now. I just don't see Tszyu having an option right now, especially because he's on such bad terms with Turkey, and his market is really low. These losses weren't good losses. He's been really exposed. And in this fight, like I said, a little too neat upstairs to be saying you're done. Just that he was the better man. Like, this is not that type of sport. You know what I mean? Like, it's so I don't know who's going to pay top dollar to watch him fight right now besides his own fan base over there in Australia. And that's where I see him going up. Now, maybe if Thurman doesn't get a fight with Charlo, it's going to be a fighter like that, bro. You know what? Let me look around. Adrian motherfucking Broner. Go grab Adrian Broner. It's going to be a fight like that, right? We're going to see it on where did he fight? Because he fought in Australia not too long ago, and it was like a total Tszyu card. Like, it was even what is their promotional company called?
No Limits.
No Limits. I was like, it's Masterpiece something. Yeah, it's No Limit. Yeah. Limit Records, right? He's No Limit Promotions. So yeah, same thing. But it's gonna be a No Limit Promotions card. That's going to be on a platform like DAZN. Like, DAZN will just, hey, here, we'll give you a few bucks, let us air it. But they're going to have nothing to do with it. It's going to be Tszyu by himself trying to make some dollars, And Adrian Broner, Tszyu, if you're looking for a comeback fight, that's probably a decent name. He knows how to sell a ticket. You know what I'm saying? So, or here's another one. It's a goofy one. But what was that goofball? Oh, man, what was his name? He was fighting for Golden Boy.
All right, I need more hints.
Oh man, Blake.
Yes. Oh gosh,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Blair Cobbs.
Blair Cobbs. Damn it, nice, Miguel. Very good, Blake. I just gave him
I remember his
a B, you guys. You see that shit? Very good, bro.
I'd win in Hangman every fucking time.
Yeah, very good. But Blair Cobbs, right? Someone who can sell a ticket. He's got a little bit of a name in America. Maybe someone tunes in. I'm trying, Tszyu. I'm trying. You call me at 510. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Hell, throw me in there, Tszyu. Damn it. I'll let you whip my ass if it helps your confidence. Well, that definitely is, the future isn't as bright for Tim as it once was. However, for the Towering Inferno, it is extremely bright. With that performance on an undercard of a Manny Pacquiao fight where a lot of eyeballs were watching, that really puts him on the spot. I don't know right now.
Manny, I'm going to cut you off. Did he call out Manny at the end of that fight?
He didn't. I think Jim Gray misunderstood him. I think he was trying to say, time for Manny. I want to go enjoy this Manny card because everybody's here to watch Manny. That's what he was trying to say. He's like, let me go to my locker room. Let me grab my snacks. I'm ready. That's what he meant to say. That's how I took it. He's like, time for Manny Pacquiao. And I think Jim Gray misunderstood it. He said, like, oh, really? Kind of thinking like he was calling him out. Like, no. He wasn't calling him out. At least That's how I interpret it. He was saying, "What's next? Well, Manny's next. Let's watch Manny fight." That's what he was trying to say. I think, at least.
I'm looking for the Lil Wayne song "Misunderstood." Come on now. I
That
misunderstood his ass too. Let me tell you, he kind of said that. Sounded like, well, what's up next is Manny Pacquiao. I was like, oh, hold on, kid. You little weight bullier motherfucker. Hold
yeah,
on.
man.
Talk about weight. Talk about coming out, calling yourself a bully, then calling the smallest guy out in boxing.
The
Jesus.
smallest, oldest guy out in
Yeah.
boxing. Jeez.
Holy fuck, what that would look like.
Yeah.
It's not fair. If
No, and
he
then,
brings that game plan, God had to have given him a weak cheek. Chin, excuse me. We have to believe that. Is it Brian Mendoza that knocked him out?
yeah, yes.
Brian Mendoza. We gotta hope that was a real thing, and his chin is weak. Where that's the Mike Tyson flaw, right? He's got everything else. You can't really get by this boss, but if you land on his chin, maybe you put him to sleep, right? So damn, but the way he was fighting, the way those punches were coming down, I mean, you don't want to even crouch any lower. You want it to come from an even farther angle. Like, it's how you approach it. You got to get on the inside. You got to stay on the inside, and man, you're going to take some punches coming in. And you got to pray that he doesn't have an escape route to keep those punches coming as you're trying to get in. It's a very hard game plan.
Yeah, and if you are able to land the way Tim Tszyu was able to land, and he doesn't go down, shit, you are in for a long night, or maybe a short night. Fuck, I don't know, depending on how Fundora feels like either carrying you or not carrying you. Taking a look at some of the other champions on the weight class here, of course the WBO belt is vacant, although it's I think going to be up for grabs with this Xander Zayas card coming up next week. The guy who knocked out Tim Tszyu before him, Bakram, whose last name I can never pronounce, and then Terrence Crawford with the WBA belt, which I think he's going to drop. I don't know if he has already, but he's going to drop it, of course, very soon. So even though the belts are scattered, even though those are out there, there isn't one definitive champion. I don't know if I can call any of the other fighters. Can we say what Virgil Ortiz has done at 154? Maybe unofficially the number one guy at 154, Virgil Ortiz, or would this performance over Tszyu put Sebastian over that?
Let's say because nobody has really unified or faced each other, they're equal. It's 50-50 fight, right? Let's put it. Man, Fundora might have just edged him out on resume though, right? But the division's getting really stacked. And right now, what's great about boxing with the way Riyadh season is bringing some of these fight cards together, we're not going to have a hard time selling the undercards if the undercard is Zayas versus Fundora, right? Two casuals, they're going to see these records. They're going to hear us talk, and then they're going to see freaking Fundora's size advantage, and they're going to be locked into any of those fights, right? Fundora and Boots and Zayas, right? All of these matchups that we have that are starting to build up here at 154 will not be hard sales for Riyadh for the cards that they are putting on. Main event obviously is a different story. I don't know if they want to wait for these being main events, but hell, you guys, if the money's good enough, I don't know why you don't start pulling the triggers now, right? I mean, what are we really waiting for here? We have a man that is signing these fights. He's getting these checks out, and you're a prize fighter. So hopefully we start seeing these fights get made, even though they're not really ready for main events just yet, because everyone wants to make 20 million, 10 million, right? Let's see if these guys will unify without being max paid. If that happens, Miguel, we're in a very good place in boxing right now because the cards are stacked.
Well, let me kind of be the spoiler of this one here. Two of the guys, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, those guys are over with was it Golden Boy, Matchroom, the Zone, basically, right? The Riyadh people. PBC is not the Riyadh people. You think they would kind of not let Fundora fight those guys. As of right now, I realize that there is, Dave Benavidez fighting on a Ring Magazine card, and he's a PBC
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
But is there a possibility that like maybe PBC Al Heyman are like, no, don't go work with that guy over there, kind of leaving money on the table with two potential good fighters over there, and maybe forcing, I don't know, Charlo, or 154-pound Charlo, which I forget which one's which, but have him come back and be like, all right, cool, or fucking Keith Urban or something like that, right? BBC guys, so they don't have to work with Riyadh season.
That's always a possibility. Right now, we don't know the true landscape of PBC's future because we only have really one guy that has been saying their contract is up, they're almost out. It hasn't caught in fire yet. We haven't seen anyone else, saying, yeah, they were actually shopping around. He said there was talks of DAZN, though, would be their landing spot if they did break off. So, it looks like Al Heyman's going to have to start reaching over the table here soon. I think his pot is dry, or probably it's been dry for a minute. They've been kind of hanging on with these pay-per-views with Tank and David Benavidez. But with all that money drying up, I do believe that they are going to be working more with His Excellency DAZN and just trying to get, their guys fights. Fights where he's not double ending the deal on just his money, because he doesn't have that investment anymore. Now it's actually PBC money, probably.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we're not robbed or deprived of these kind of fights, because realistically, I think the money is in Ortiz and Fundador right now. That is the money fight. I think that could be the best that could be made at 154 right now, and I'd be so interested in watching that one. It'll be pretty killer if that fight, ends up being the co-main event on one of the other ones. I mean, hell, it could be a main event on one. Huh?
You don't like the Puerto Rican Mexican?
I don't. Well, first off, Zayas is Puerto Rican, right? But you talking about wait, who's
Honduras or Ortiz? I thought Zayas is a missing link in that division.
That
one's a good one. Yeah,
that would be a good one.
Good matchups, man.
Yeah,
then you got Philly. Then you got Philly versus New York. When he's in Zayas, didn't he move to New York or Miami?
I don't know actually. I thought.
Yeah, it might be. I hope it's New York, because then you got him in Philly, right? With Boots. Yeah. That'd be a little East Coast thing right there, yeah.
Although I got to be honest, I'm a little concerned about Boots with the fights that didn't happen with. I forgot who the hell it was. Turning down fights like that. It's like, man, fuck, really? We're gonna go this direction?
And he says he needs 2 warm-up fights. The thing we hoped that they wouldn't say, they immediately said the name. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Per the source, that means that you're not interested in fighting any of those fools. Is what you're trying to say. So, that's how that's looking. But what a way to set the table for the legend Manny Pacquiao making his return to the ring last night to take on the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. This one, there's a lot to say about this one, but I'm already speechless. It definitely didn't go the way we thought. If you want to tune into our last week's show and take a look at our prediction show, and then I forgot, I don't have the odds with me, because I actually had the odds with them, but I don't remember what the odds were for a draw. But we were my dad, primarily my dad. My dad's a very vocal guy. He was yelling, what's the word? Obscenities to the TV, trying to urge Mario Barrios to put more into those shots, to throw more shots, to impose his will. He's a younger guy. He's got more spring in his legs, right? He's the guy that should be the champion, saying, all right, you come and take the belt away from me, dude. Didn't turn out that way. In case you guys haven't already found out, this was a majority draw between Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. So to some degree, well, hey, you know what? Mario Barrios keeps his belt, because the champion keeps his belt in a draw. But really, the way he fought, he probably deserved to lose. I was not liking how much respect he was showing to Manny. We talked about it on last week's show. He needed to mop the floor with Manny. Use his power, use his pop, use his youth, use his height. Use everything. I mean, he was the heavy favorite going to this fight. He was the WBC champ, for Christ's sakes, or still is, I should say. But we talked about it. Is one of those fights where you can kind of see why Manny chose him. You can see him, and it's like, all right. Now, mind you, just because this is just us speculating, and I think, as a matter of fact, I think Brian Campbell said something along those lines. He saw his last fight, Manny, I'm saying, saw Barrios' last fight with Ramos, and said, "Yeah, I can beat that guy," and he still has the belt. Cool, I'm going after that guy, and that's what happened. So we're thinking, okay, well, you know what, Manny, 46. You think you can do it, buddy? I'm sure you think you can do it legitimately. And he goes in there, and we're expecting Barrios, the young Barrios, to come in and just basically mop the floor to really, I guess, I don't know, maybe do what Manny, or I'm sorry, what Floyd Mayweather didn't do, and kind of sort of pass the torch from one great welterweight to like the next to some degree, thinking Barrios was going to come in and show everybody why he is the WBC champ, why he deserved to be the guy to take Manny out, and he did none of that. He did none of that. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I think he did outland Manny. I think the punch stats show that he did land more on Manny. But if you look at Manny's face, it looks like he just had a sparring session. Disappointing to say the least. Now, here's the thing. Not disappointing necessarily in Barrios' performance per se, although we are disappointed in his performance. But the damn decision, a draw, I don't know. I mean, it couldn't have been any worse, I guess, for Manny, right? I mean, all right, we'll get the draw, but he deserved to win that fight. The way he fought, and it's been said before, and the commentators were saying this, like, oh, Manny still got it. He still got it. No, he doesn't, yo. He doesn't have it. If he really did have it, we're talking about a Manny from 5-6 years ago, what fucking whooped the shit out of Barrios, but he didn't. We're talking about the Manny of 2025. Andrew, what did you think about Manny's performance? What did you think about Barrios' performance and the decision at the end?
Yeah, it was a great fight for Pacquiao. It's a great fight for his fans. I had this fight a draw. It's an easy draw going into round 8 or so. But these last championship rounds, dude, to see a 46-year-old man, you guys, we're talking 4 years from 50, competing in a sport that he shouldn't be competing in at this age. Pulling off what he did in the last 4 rounds, I had him sweeping those rounds. Maybe I got to watch the shit over again, you guys. But I legit had Manny sweeping the last 4. I could not believe what I was watching. I thought that was when, they kept the whole fight. Oh, he's waiting till the end. He's waiting till the end. He never showed up. Barrios absolutely did not show up on Saturday night. He only got more punches because he threw more jabs. That was the only reason why he landed more. On power shots, it was to Manny leading on the punch CompuBox. So, look, man, Manny hasn't lived a clean life, but just what an incredible athlete. Absolute incredible athlete to pull this off at 46 and have them rob him the way that he did. Yes, I know everyone that watched the fight, and whenever we're at the bar arguing over Manny Pacquiao, we're all going to add this as a win. This was a victory for him because of his age. And watch, this is one of those, Miguel, every once in a while, I'll tell a guy right off the top, we could watch the fight. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
You give me your 6 or your 7. In this case, it'd be your 6 rounds. But there's just certain fights that I'm not afraid of sitting down and watching. Then there's some I'm like, no, dude, Taylor actually beat Hopkins. Shut the fuck up. Just move on with your day. Move on with your day. There's those, you have those fights too, right?
First time or the second time, or both times?
Yeah, both times for me. Yeah. So anyways, but this is one of those I'll sit down and watch with the Barrios fan. They can't give me 7 rounds. Fuck out of here. He won 7 of those rounds. Kid got outboxed. He got outworked. He got out hustled. Man, he was in and out on you. He's 46. Oh, I'd been so pissed off if I was his trainer. 46 years old. He danced circles. You're allowing him to do his little Manny strut. Got the crowd standing up, cheering. Oh, it was bad. Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself. I should have remembered the Thurman fight when one time outboxed you. One time. Manny has never been described as one time.
No. I watching this fight and seeing, and look, obviously Manny is not the Manny of old, right? We get that, right? He's lost quite a bit. He threw that left hand a lot, and he missed a lot. If you watch how many times he did the 1-2, the classic 1-2, and Barrios was able to slip that fucking left, it's like, all right, cool. He's seeing it coming. Not make him pay for it. Not make him pay for fucking missing. Did none of that. It just seemed like, and we can say he had, too much respect for him. I don't know. I don't understand what it was that he saw that thought, damn, I better not, let this fucking out of the chamber here. I'm gonna let this shot out of the chamber. Um, it just looked like he just, I didn't even want to say it was too much respect because I don't even know that's what it was. Was it just the event? Did he just freeze, or was it just like I've never been in such a huge type? I mean, mind you, he was on the undercard of a Jake Paul fight, so it wasn't like he hasn't been in the middle of publicity before like that because he most definitely has been. So is it just that, oh shit, now it's me in the main event, now the lights are on, it's deer in the headlights, holy crap, it's more of a victory to just go 12 rounds with the legend than it is anything else? Well, maybe it was a good plan then because he kept his belt. Yeah, granted, he didn't win the fight, but he kept his belt. So maybe that's leverage for some sort of rematch or something along those lines. But quite the disappointment, especially with the fun fight that was before this, the co-main event with Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora.
Oh, this
and
was
even,
a fun fight.
Yeah.
Hey, Manny entertained the fuck out of me, Miguel. I don't mind losing on a bet,
but
saying
tainted on the decision.
yes, but see, to me, that's a Manny win. I get it. Yes, Manny should be the WBC champ right now. But to me, when a guy at 46 pulls off the controversial, it's a win either way, right?
Hmm.
But I get what you're saying. It's controversial in the fact that he should have won the title last night. But it's a win for Manny slept very well last night. They partied last night. He's back. He gets another check. All of the above.
And a pending check and another one on the way.
Oh yeah. No, that's yes. Yes. You know, I would like to say before we talk about any more about the fight. Well, yeah, I guess we got to finish the fight off. Then I want to talk about the future and what I hope PBC tries to do with Manny. He had something left in the tank. He made look at Barrios was towering over Tank Davis too. 6 foot to like 5 something, right? 5'3". Davis seems smaller than Manny. You know what I'm saying? And we all thought his reach and his height and all that was going to be too much for Tank. And then Tank outboxed him, outworked him. And then Keith Thurman comes back off a 3-year retirement, hiatus, whatever, and beats him. It was really long. He was on a break and comes back and beats him. Just outboxes him. And now Manny comes back after 3 years. I think we were fixed on the fact that Manny is 46 and you're not supposed to do that. What Manny did on Saturday, the in and out, the jumping around for 12 rounds, the throwing punches, he still threw probably over 250 punches. To do all of that at 46 years of freaking age, we're talking about a guy who's had leg cramps his whole fucking career. At 46, you don't have one leg cramp?
Yeah,
Just
the whole night. Barrios just didn't push him enough for him to have that. I mean, that's really because it was really him doing what he wanted to do to Barrios. It wasn't Barrios forcing him to do any extra movement that he needed to.
And I totally hear you. I'm just saying on my prediction, I was more fixed on the flaws that Manny was bringing in the ring than the flaws that Barrios had. And I probably should have looked at the fact that Barrios doesn't throw a lot of punches, has been worked by littler guys before. This is not a surprise. All of those factors that stand out. And really, Keith Thurman put a boxing match on that kid. He had no answer for Thurman, where apples are oranges, but Thurman did not have that success against Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? You have the Ugas fight, and maybe that was we gave him a little too much credit for the Ugas fight. And my dumbass, I don't really have Ugas beating Manny. You know that. You know what I'm saying? I had Manny winning that night. I thought they robbed him on that night. So PBC's actually done Manny dirty twice. He should have beaten both of their champs. So anyways, and they're going to continue to do him dirty. Now, with that being said, what I really hope they do with Manny Pacquiao is put him on a farewell tour before they cash him out with whoever they're going to fight him big. I wish they would bring Manny to San Francisco one time. right? His fans showed up in Las Vegas, and I don't know what the money looked like if they made a lot of money on the casinos. Obviously, the casinos are going to try to get him back over there. But to see Manny get one shot at trying to sell out, San Francisco, they've always been. I've told you, bro. When I used to go to Pacquiao fights, there's 3 airplanes in the morning filled going to Las Vegas. Like there was Filipinos all over the airport, dude, leaving from the Bay Area. Big fan base all throughout California, but I think South San Francisco has the biggest population of Filipino Americans, if I'm not mistaken. I would like Manny if they could do a one fight. One fight. He's 46. All the legends do it. Miguel, don't act like it's something new, bro. Give him a farewell tour before we cash him out, right? Some easy guys. I mean, easy. Give him an easy fight. But let 47, 52,000 rock that place while he still has it, because he still has it. They can make some money. So that's what I was hoping for Manny when I seen him last night, still doing his thing. I've always been kind of had this little fascination with the Philippine. We had Donaire and we had Manny, so I knew that it was a busy crowd over here. It was a hot crowd fan base in the Bay Area for it. And I think Manny deserves that payday, a sellout arena here in the Northern California. So hopefully if Al Heyman is listening to our YouTube, if he likes podcasts on his way to work to the PBC headquarters, he thinks about putting a Manny Pacquiao farewell tour on, do a fight in LA, do a fight in Northern California, and then cash him out with whoever, even if that's Floyd.
Yeah, which it may very well be. I know as of right now, I want to say Manny himself said, no, he's already retired or whatever. Talking about Floyd, but when he talks, right at the end of the day, when you hear that cha-ching, I'm sure we'll hear that treadmill start right back up for Floyd.
I didn't see him last night. Did you see him?
No.
There were rumors he was supposed to be in attendance last night. That's what kind of like started all the, oh my God, are they really going to do it now? But I didn't see them put Floyd on the camera at all last night.
No, I don't remember him. I mean, I don't remember that what you said as far as like even hearing that he was supposed to be there. I didn't even hear that. Although I did hear Dan.
It's my inside source, bro.
Oh, very reliable attorney.
There you go.
Inside source. I did hear Dan Rayfield say he would rather set himself on fire than to watch a rematch between Floyd and Manny. But that's
fucked up.
That's one way to describe it, Dan. But all right, I guess
you're not getting a credential. I tell you.
Yeah, if that happens, they're gonna have a roast ready for your ass with an apple in your fucking mouth.
Yeah,
because
man.
that's exactly what they're intending to do with you if you don't want to watch this fight.
But let me tell you something, Dan. You put Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather on Netflix, better guarantee you're gonna get 250 million homes that night. I guarantee you.
Well, I have heard already / read that what's next for Manny is a possible fight with Rolly Rolando. That's what we've heard so far. Again, this is just the very beginning, so the rumblings, which is kind of funny because Andrew, you called it. You fucking called it. When Rolando beat Ryan Garcia, Rolando was in the ring being interviewed and was asked, hey, dude, you know what? You beat Ryan. This was supposed to have been a Ryan victory, and he would move on to fight Devin Haney. Well, you beat Ryan, so you fight Devin. What about that? And Rolando said, no, let them fight their fight. They still got the rematch to do it. We'll leave it at that. Kind of strange. Well, Andrew, you kind of hit it around the head and said, hey, maybe he's trying to hold on to his belt, trying to hold on to protect that belt, hopefully holding off to it until a nice little offer from one Manny Pacquiao comes around. And golly, from May to July, we got ourselves our prediction, I guess, come true. Because it looks like this is the direction that Manny wants to go to. Now, mind you, if you remember correctly, that fight with Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero was for some vacant WBA belt or some shit that I think Boots let go when he moved it to 154 or planned to move to 154, something along those lines. I forget specifically what happened with that belt. But at the end of the day, Rolly Rolando got himself a belt with that win over Ryan Garcia. So got himself a little bit of leverage, right? He's got some silverware. He's saying, hey, Manny, all right, want the championship? Here you go, buddy. I don't know. You think Manny will actually go with that?
If it's the highest price out there, yes. I mean, he just fought Barrios. Barrios doesn't have near a significant win like Raleigh Romero does, right? Raleigh Romero has a knockdown of Ryan Garcia. That's his career right now. Very beatable.
I was just gonna say that. You think Manny will not just accept the fight, but also, I mean, make the fight happen, but also beat Rolly?
Yeah, I mean, bro, I'm just saying his career is a knockdown right now. It's one punch that landed, right? Because I mean, the rest of that fight, there wasn't too much happening. You know, with the Romero and Garcia, it wasn't too much more drama than Garcia just did not have anything in the tank. He didn't have his power. He didn't look the same. Um, I don't know if that was the drug testing or not, but it wasn't a good start for Ryan's, comeback off of the failed test. So yes, there's potential that Manny beats Raleigh Romero. Obviously, all of the other factors are still in play. Age, power, all of that. Raleigh has a big punch, but that's all he has. So there it is. So yeah, Manny's got options right now. But if I'm Manny, I'm a little bit nervous about the company you're working for. Because they've burned you twice. Now, hopefully they're paying him good. And, I'm going to throw in the Ugas fight in there because Ugas probably should never have beaten Manny. They would have made more money as Manny being the champion and moving on to fight Spence, something like that. So I'm a little nervous with working with the PBC since, his comeback fights haven't, they've really went great. And it seems like he's getting the raw deal at the end. Hopefully they're paying him good, but there's another guy named Turkey over there that's paying really good. And I'm going to tell you guys one more time, that's where DAZN fucked up. DAZN did not put their money into Floyd Mayweather to get the American subscribers to buy into DAZN. They should have put Floyd's last 4 or 5 fights. I forget when they opened up where they were at, but I believe he had 4 fights at least left when DAZN started. And I'm including McGregor and all that shit too. Okay. Because DAZN would have been a part of all that. So I don't think they should miss that ball again. That's what is it? That train. Don't miss that train again. Let's get on it this time. If Floyd is really thinking about coming back, it'd be in DAZN's best interest to see how much it would cost to get him on their thing. Because let me tell you guys, Netflix, you ready for this, Miguel? In 2024, they're saying Netflix had 304 million subscribers globally. I don't know how anyone's gonna fucking go up against that. That's a month. When we talk about, it's $20 per month, times that by 300 plus million houses. Right? So they have a lot of cash flow too. I know we're talking about the Saudis have a lot of cash flow, but it looks like these other guys, they have cash flow too. Right? So you don't want Floyd to get into that. Go talk to Netflix is all I'm saying. You want to try to get him over to DAZN where they have, a few thousand. I wonder what DAZN, I probably could Google it. Wonder what their subscribers look like right now, how many they have. I know it's not 301. That's huge money. That's the money box. Dude, listen, you guys, we used to talk about HBO was king. They only had 24 million. They only had 24 million subscribers. We're working with a company right now that has over 300 million subscribers. You don't need advertising if you're bringing in huge money and your boss is happy. Your boss is just going to pay you because the money's just fucking flowing every 30 days.
Real quick, a quick Google search. Mind you, this is just AI. DAZN, a global sports streaming service, has a large user base of 20 million subscribers.
Yeah, bro. You see how much up they're against the wall when they're going up against Netflix?
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
This is what I mean by Netflix. DAZN's getting kind of in scary places with their way they're talking about, their pay scale or everything's for free, yet you're working with the guys that make the most money in the sport. Think about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in their heydays. You know what they were demanding for pay? I think Joshua was a $30 million fighter every time too. How are you going to do that? And you're not making money on the back end. Yeah. So we've talked about that last week. That's even more evidence. 20 million to 300 million. There you go.
Paid subscribers.
Jake Paul, just a little bit smarter. Just a little bit smarter.
Maybe giving him a little more credit that we have been giving him
Yeah,
for the
man.
last couple of years. So we know what's next for Manny, or at least that's what it looks like. At least going after another belt against someone else. Probably not a rematch with Mario Barrios. So Mario Barrios, where does he go from here? He still has his belt. He has a little bit of leverage. If any of the other champions, want to unify with him, he has himself a little bit of leverage. But realistically, we know who the cash cow is, right? Manny, he's probably going to get lost in the shuffle. Even with the championship belts, chances are he goes to the back of the line. At this point, all the other champions from Haney to Ryan to Rowley to fucking anybody else for that matter, hell, Teofimo, if he decides to move up to 147, is going to be in line for Manny and in front of Mario Barrios. So what can we say is next for Barrios?
He's not calling any shots. He's waiting for a phone call to come in. That's all there is. Right now, all the other guys seem like they're tied up, right? You got Brian Norman and Haney fighting. You got Teofimo Lopez out there, right? Maybe His Excellency wants to put a belt on Lopez to get him more in the mix. I don't know, but there's that name out there that he can float around. He's a walking title, right? Anyone who fights him, we're probably going to pick up that belt from him. So he's hot in that aspect. At least he'll get a phone call, but it won't be for big money. He's not a main event, right? So yeah, it's he's waiting for a phone call. There's at least Lopez. I think that's the only one. I can't even think of another guy because I think Garcia's out for a while. Right? De La Hoya said surgeries and all that's going to put him shelved for a while. Everyone else is fighting each other. The only one I'm leaning on as far as a big payday would be a Lopez matchup. I don't see Barrios moving up. I know he has the size, but he has a check at least waiting to cash when he unifies or does something, So you just wait around, maybe get some scraps from the PBC, do another undercard fight with David Benavidez or whoever you could get yourself on a PBC card, and then wait for Rehad to call you with whoever they have to take your title.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. I thought about this last night, and I did hear recently Keith Thurman mention it. Barrios kind of made history yesterday with having 2 draws back to back as champion. His last fight with Ramos was a draw, and this one ended up being a draw. So, holy hell!
Talk about protected, Jesus.
Somehow kept his belt right after 2 draws, one of which he was dropped, if I'm not mistaken, in that fight with Ramos. But wow. All right. What did you think of the pay-per-view overall? The card itself. Actually, before you answer that question, I want to ask you another question. I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice all the errors, all the mistakes that PBC made, like on the screen, basically? Like
they've been known for that, Miguel.
I mean, like during the David Picasso and his opponent, I forget his name, fight, they had like in between rounds, they would show the highlights, right, and then they had a quick little image or a little video package of their names flying by right before the next round started. They had the Mark Magsayo fight on there still, like the names on there. They had someone's age being 125 years old. I don't know, I forgot who the fuck it was. It just said like 125 on someone's age. I forgot who. I watched the card again. Remember that? When it came to Manny Pacquiao's weight, it just showed LBS, meaning weight pounds. It didn't have a number on it. What the PBC? What the fuck's going on? Amazon Prime. What happened here? These little mistakes that I'm like, did I just see that? Like, who's 125 years old?
Al Heyman had to cut corners, so I'm being told that some of his family are working graphics right now in the RV in the back there.
Oh Lord, who's in that production? Who's over here forgetting to type in Manny Pacquiao's weight at the beginning of the fight? But that being said,
someone just having fun. Maybe I just had too much to drink.
Yeah, I know they're like.
We're almost out of a job. Did you hear we're getting fired? Fuck this shit. 175 years old. Fuck them.
I know, right? Oh, guys, they're like, play a piece of bet. Like, hey, I bet you won't put 125 years old. Oh, how much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet?
You heard Tank isn't happening? Piece of shish.
You know, right? You hear that? You hear that? How we're not going to get another paycheck? Yeah, Manny, you're 0 pounds. All right, how about that?
0 pounds.
Enter. Hit AI. Oh, it was AI's fault. It wasn't my fault. Oh Lord. But that being said, Andrew, what'd you think of the pay-per-view overall? The pay-per-view card, the presentation. I mean, you mentioned the fight was entertaining, the main event at least. So, I mean, the rest of them as well, of course. But overall, the package of the pay-per-view, what'd you think of it?
It was a good. It was a good pay per view. I mean, give it a solid B. I would say a solid B, especially when you get the plus 400. Man, if I was in Reno, it would have been an A. It would have been an A.
It would have been yeah, going home with some money in your pocket, that would have been A. But
Yeah, man.
totally understandable. Do you think? I mean, we got two, pretty solid cards back to back. Which card do you think was better? The Riyadh Season Ring Magazine 3 card with Berlanga, Sheeraz, and everybody else, or this one? Because they're pretty stacked.
Damn, bro, that's a good one. You look, I think because Manny's a legend, I'm gonna have to go with the Pacquiao. I thought that was pretty incredible what he did last night. That will go down in the history books. 46 years old, performing at that level for as long as it went 12 rounds, man. And I had him winning the last 4. It's just fucking incredible. It's he's 46. Like, I know in like normal people's talk, that's not supposed to be old. Like, but we're talking athlete. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At working at the top of the game, the top of level. You're almost 50. Bernard was the only one we've seen do this. Bernard Hopkins, another guy that was just dedicated to a healthy life, though, and that wasn't really Manny. Manny's more of a Roberto Duran than he was a Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? We heard stories of Manny partying. So no, that was incredible. Now look, what Usyk did. That fight alone was incredible. Usyk definitely made his mark as a greatness too, made a rise in the rankings and greatness. But overall, the fight card, I'm gonna give it to PBC. The fight card, I'll give it to PBC.
All right.
Especially because one knock that I have on the Usyk fight is that it was Dubois. When history is told, Dubois is not going to be looked at as like this, as the Joe Frazier of this era. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like, man, Ali fought Frazier and Usyk fought Dubois. Same guy. Same guy.
Yeah. They had their own thriller in the UK. Like, no, that's not what it was. All right, fair enough. Yeah. I think I might have to go with that as well. That card was good, minus the weird little errors here and there. I know this is something that has been going on for a while, but I love being able to watch all of the fights. You go to YouTube, you get to watch all of the early prelims, and I love doing that. I've seen every fucking fight. If it makes you feel like you're there, it does make you feel like when you tune in. As a matter of fact, if you guys watch was it? It might have been one of the press conferences. Right? If you go to the PBC's YouTube channel, they actually had one of the press conferences, and at the very end, they had like this. I haven't recorded a video. It was just like those weird, like red and yellow, black colors, like right, and it was like and then they had like Warren G playing in the background and some shit. Like, what the fuck? All right, what the hell is this? And then the screen went to like somebody like left their camera on the ring apron and like just recording out into the ring in the empty arena after the press conference. So it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, I mean, this is not supposed to be viewed, but anyway, it's just me and my nostalgia. But I love that you get to watch all the fights. And yeah, I know DAZN does that as well, but it seems much more significant when you watch it on a pay-per-view card like someone like Manny Pacquiao. So I too am gonna have to give it to PBC. How many more of these pay-per-view cards PBC is gonna be able to pull off? We don't know, but we most certainly enjoyed the last one, and money well spent, because I most definitely enjoyed it. All right, so that brings us to the next topic, which we did kind of briefly sprinkle in here and there. Gervonta Davis versus, and this is a report that I read online. Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch has reportedly been pushed back by a week or two, postponed. With August 23rd or August 30th now as a targeted date in Las Vegas. However, the delay could potentially extend even further. All right, so right off the bat, not good news. It looks as though Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach rematch is going to be pushed back some, postponed, possibly till the end of August. That being said, Lamont Roach decided to take to social media and throw in his 2 cents. Let's go ahead and see what Roach said. That's enough. That's enough with them N-word. I said what I said. I'm trying to bump at 140 with the actual champ, not a has-been. Oh my. So it looks as though whatever is happening between Roach and Gervonta is falling through. It does not look like the fight is going to take place even in late August, the way the postponement announcement reflects. And from the sounds of things, it kind of sounds like Lamont Roach is kind of fed up with the whole fucking situation. He's like, man, you know what? Forget this. I'm moving up to 140. I'm fighting the real guys. Who's the number one guy there? Teofimo Lopez. Maybe we might get that going. But regardless, it looks like he's kind of fed up with how things have been going with whatever the hell has been going with Gervonta Tank Davis, who was recently arrested. Whether or not that has anything to do with it, we don't know yet, but we can kind of put two and two together and say that that has something to do with the postponement. Kind of a bummer. I was looking forward to the rematch because, this is the first time we've seen anybody really put their hands on Gervonta the way Lamont Roach did, and then of course with the controversy of that knockdown that really was a knockdown, just to get his face, the grease removed from his face, according to Gervonta. So Andrew, first impressions that the fight gets postponed, and then also looks like it might not happen at all.
Well, look, with them announcing that they want to only postpone it for a week or two, kind of makes me think it's a court date that has them having to do this, right? It's kind of weird. Only a week? You only need a week. Why a week? Maybe the judge said no to moving his court date, so they have to move the fight date. You know what I'm saying? So it probably has everything to do with the fucking arrest that he just had. 1 or 2 weeks seems really weird. With that being said, I think it's really weird that Roach responds with "Oh, I'm fucking done. I'm out of here." Like, whoa. Bro, it's 7 days. Chill. Fucking chill. We've seen fighters get cut right before a fight, and the guy waits fucking 3 months to fight the dude. You're over here like, I'm giving them my best. Chill. He ain't that big. He's got a name amongst the Tank Davis fans. You ain't making no noise outside of that pond. Seriously. I don't even know if a casual knows who Lamont Roach is today. They might have known him on the Monday after the fight because everyone was talking about it, went viral. I don't know if they know him still today. So just relax on your moving up and fighting the next champ. If he does it, so be it. But it would be in his best interest to stay and wait 1 or 2 weeks. Now, if they say no, it's going to be next year, peace, deuces, right? 1 or 2 weeks, Miguel. Come on, this puts him on the fucking map, bro. 2 wins against Tank, because if the guy that has a controversial decision wins the rematch, most of the time he's awarded both fights, right? All the fans that go, we know he beat him the first time too. The second time just proved it more. So, no, he's way more valuable if he waits 14 days.
Does maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he thinks some shit's going on to where maybe the fight isn't going to take place, and he knows this ahead of time. So he's like, no, I'm bouncing. I have a little bit more leverage in the negotiation at this point. You want me to stick around and wait? You're going to have to add another zero to that paycheck or something along those lines. Does that look like that? I mean, because we've heard Lamont Roach. We've heard a lot of his interviews. He seems like a pretty rational guy. He seems like a pretty logical guy. Not the kind of guy who makes rash decisions or acts like a little bitch when things aren't going his way or anything like that. At least not the way it looks. So for him to act this way, it could be that we just don't know something, and there's some shit going on behind the scenes that he does know that possibly Gervonta isn't down for the rematch.
If that's the case, I don't know the backstory. I can only go off what they said. And so far, the news is we're going to postpone the fight 1 to 2 weeks. So I'm taking that for what it is. To me, if I'm Roach, I'm waiting 1 or 2 weeks. Now, if Roach knows something, then his statement should have been different. It should have been, I'm tired of their bullshit. They're saying 1 or 2 weeks. It's more like 3 months. I'm out of here. Then we can, you know what I mean? Like, I need more. I'm not, to me, it's 1 or 2 weeks. I think it's kind of weird that he wants to move on from that fight. That fight put him on the map. That fight will solidify him as a headliner if he was to beat Tank. I mean, hell, You don't want to even look at your option if you beat Tank, what your next paycheck might be, as the king of the lightweight division. And I don't know. I think Shakur might have topped him in Tank. Did they put Shakur over Tank now with the Cepeda win? I believe he did.
Oh damn! I don't remember. I mean,
I think the
wouldn't be
ring
surprised
did.
if they did. But then it would make sense if they did.
Yeah, I think the ring did. So he wouldn't be top dog. But you know what I mean. You don't even want to look at what
He'd be one of the big guys. Yeah.
And what His Excellency would be offering for that fight. What if that's a $10 million fight? You ain't making $10 million against Lopez. I'll tell you that right now. You won't even make $10 million beating Lopez. Tell you that too. Stay there, fight Tank. If it's 2 weeks, fight Tank. Look at what they're offering for Shakur.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. It just seems like, there is some stuff we don't know. For him to react this way is leading me to believe that there's some bullshit that he's like, no, fuck this. I'm done with y'all. I'm moving up to 140 and calling it a day. Which, I mean, I can understand the reaction. I don't see why he should move to 140. Just stay at 135. You can fight, Shakur. You can fight other people. Why move it to 140?
He's seen the video of the grandmother, the mother-in-law recorded Tank beating the hell out of the baby mama, probably. He's like, is that the video? No, that man is done.
Yeah. It's like, that's not going to happen. That's
not going to happen.
Is that legit right there? Oh, Jess, forget it. Just retract what I said. I don't want that rematch.
He smacked her, then I guess throw something at her. So we don't know how much of that was caught on film. And there's a baby involved. So that's always nice. And there's a screaming baby involved with the beating of a woman.
In the background. Yelling. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Gervonta, how you do this to yourself?
Look so fruity doing it, right? He's always looked suspect, bro. Remember when he took his hair off that one? Dude, like the guy's been fruity the whole career, and then maybe that's why he doesn't like women.
Gosh, he blames women for sexuality. He's like,
you never know, bro.
Yeah, no, that I mean, with somebody with tattoos up to his fucking neck, I
know.
Who knows really? But kind of a bummer. I was looking forward to it. Hopefully the fight still takes place in August, even if it's late August. I'm down for that. But the way things are going, probably not. As I mentioned, it looks like PBC is having fewer and fewer cards. This one probably off the fucking list because who knows if this fight is going to happen after this postponement here. So,
and they lost their cash cow, bro.
Oh, and
Tim Zoo's gone, man. PBC was loving Tim Zoo, boy.
I'm telling you, I still think they're going to probably force Thurman and Tim Zoo anyway. They're going to go do it over there in Australia. On Prime. Yeah. Their second or third free card because it ain't going to be no damn pay-per-view. That's for damn sure. All right. Well, that leads us to one of our final stories here. We talked about it during the week. There's been a lot of talk about one Hamza Sheeraz after his victory over Edgar Berlanga. Now, right off the bat, the fight ended, and we're like, all right, what a fantastic victory for Sheeraz, taking out Berlanga, something that Canelo wasn't able to do. So pretty damn impressive. And Turki Al-Sheikh himself has said that this is who that the winner of Berlanga and Sheeraz would get Canelo next. Now that Sheeraz is coming away with a victory or came away with a victory, he is probably up next for Canelo, considering Canelo gets past Crawford in September. But a lot of controversy since then in regards to his hand wraps, and in particular, the hand wrap that he did not remove from his left hand, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's the second time he's done that. Now, everybody and their mom saying that there's some suspicious as shit. Pretty much everybody has their own, I guess, conspiracy theories about this, right? They all have their own theories about what's going on with that hand wrap. When it was brought up, I just sent it to Andrew. I was like, dude, these people are fucking stretching. Just accept the L already. Just take it. And Andrew, you're like, no. It's the second time he's done it. Let's talk about it. It's worth mentioning because it's not a coincidence. Clearly there's something going on for him to do it 2 times like that. Granted, it wasn't 2 times consecutively, but 2 times it seems a little funny. It may very well be a coincidence. Maybe we're looking into it. or maybe not. So I'm going to pull up this one post that I saw from, I believe it was Andy Lee, who is his trainer, who, in regards to this, he says, I am Hamza's coach. I wrapped his hands. The commission wouldn't allow me to cut the second wrap off after the fight. Both the commission and Berlanga's coach watched me wrap Hamza's hands and inspected all the gauze and tape used. All right, so according to Hamza Sheeraz's corner, Andy Lee here saying, no, the commission told me that I couldn't remove that wrap. Seems a little weird that it was the left one for the second time. This fight, again, took place in New York. I don't remember where the fight took place, where the other time it happened. I think it was Saudi Arabia, so I don't know. Different athletic commissions, did they both say not to remove the left hand?
That's
a little funky, but Andrew, give us your 2 cents. What does this look like?
That's it. That's what I want to say. That's the thing that makes it a little fishy now is Andy Lee comes out, and this is before the video gets released that he's done this now twice. Andy Lee comes out and puts it on the commission of New York. So you're like, fine, all right, cool. The New York, for whatever reason, the commission told him not to do it. Then the next week, a video comes out where he does it in his last fight too. Listen, when you look at the rule books clearly states that both the hand wraps are supposed to be cut off after the fight. It says it in the rule book. So, like, why are people breaking rules? I think there should be an investigation on the commissioner that told him he didn't have to cut it off. Why are you bringing heat to our sport by not following the simple rules of the book that you took to pass this test to become a commissioner, right? So, I mean, I'm looking pretty hard at him not ever working a fight again. You don't like people to doubt. I mean, right away, the haters, oh, it's the entertainment. It's why they do it. If you look, boxing's not even a sport. It's entertainment. They're hurting us. That is a stupid way to be hurt. If you're not firing him, he should be suspended. Big boy, big girl, whoever did it needs to take a few tests before they're allowed to become a commissioner again. But with that being said, now we need to look into why this is the second fucking time this guy with his big, powerful left hand hasn't had his left hand wrap cut off. It's a legit question now. So I don't think we should brush it under the rug. I think we should bring it out and we should ask more questions about why is this happening. And the next fight that he has, they should cut that motherfucker off in front of the cameras. All you want is to be legit, right? You're big, proud man. You work clean. Oh, I don't bet. I'm sorry I shook his hand on a bet. Allah tells me not to bet. Well, Allah says don't cheat either, and they're calling you a fucking cheat. So maybe you should come back and cut your hand wrap off in front of everyone next time. Matter of fact, because the rule book says both hand wraps should be cut off in the ring, let's just stick to the rules. Am I a dick for saying that? Am I a dick for bringing that up? No. Let's stick to the fucking rules, Sheeraz. I don't like it. Bro, look it. That left hand was way more powerful than Canelo's left hand. And I could have swore we all thought Canelo was a pretty powerful puncher. We thought that he had a good punch. You know what I mean? Yet when this young man touched Berlanga, we seen him do things we ain't never seen him do before. So I know it's apples or oranges, but I don't like the second video. That's why I wrote you back. Like, I don't know, dude. Second video that's showing that they're being real secretive about one of these hand wraps. I don't like it, especially when it's your power hand. Stop it. Remember, there's levels to this sport, you guys. You can get away with this shit on certain levels. Capetillo did it. Fucking who's Duran's trainer? Pamela.
Panama Lewis.
Panama Lewis did it. There's levels you can get away with this stuff at. Felix Tito Trinidad Sr. did it. He got caught numerous times wrapping hands illegally.
So, but all right. So Andy Lee is saying that they saw the wraps. Granted, they didn't cut him off in the ring after the fight. But what? I mean,
I don't know how they get Miguel. I just named 3 pretty high-profile trainers that were getting away with it. Roberto Duran's trainer being one of the highest.
When they were caught, and please correct me if I'm wrong, when they were caught, it was when they were wrapping the hands, not afterwards, right? That's how it happened with...
Most definitely. But what I'm saying is, how many fights did they do it?
Right.
When their hands were checked and they were still getting away with this shit. So there's a way There is some kind of loophole in the time frame that these guys are able to fucking put the switch on the hand wraps.
Can you imagine if they have a spare hand wraps? Just
Hey,
like cut, they're just like
put
quick,
put the plaster on and use a heat gun. I don't know. Just throwing shit out the wall, but maybe they're. I know fingernails, right? You put your now the ladies. I don't know when it came out, but I know when it first started, it was a fan, and now it's a fucking like a little lamp. You put your hand under, and bam, they're dry instantly.
Mm.
Yeah. How do we know they're not slapping plaster and putting their hand under something like that? Bam, it's dried instantly. Let's go. Just saying, technology nowadays. Got to watch everything. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But the guy that brought out the video with the second hand wrap, I think there's something that should be looked in there. If we had real journalism, real journalists out there, I think that's a story they should break. They should at least get to the bottom of that. And where do those hand wraps go? Let me tell you, it's the biggest win of your life, Sheeraz. Biggest win. You knocked out Berlanga. What'd you do with the hand wrap? Just throw it out? Or is that your house? If you're at your house, just turn it over. They'll test it. Boom. You're clean, right? Commissioner's signatures on it. It's scratched, right? We all know it's the hand wrap from the fight. Or did you just throw it out? Did you go to the locker room and just toss it? I don't know. Biggest fight of his career might be framed in his house, right? I'm just saying.
Or he could have lit that shit on fire and be like, and like a little fucking lighter. Like, oh, sorry, I just threw it in the fucking campfire.
All the mob are all waiting for him in the locker room. They're like, put it in the bathtub.
Yeah, like don't hand it to me directly. Just leave it there. Just put it there. Okay, thank you. Damn. So this is not just Berlanga's fans trying to rumble some shit up. It's like, all right, there's some like you said before, where there's smoke or fire, maybe.
Yes, because the rule book says both of them are supposed to get cut off. I don't like that the commission's not doing what the fucking book says. Let's just start with the basics, right? If the basic rules, the book says cut them off, let's cut them off, right? You don't like people to think you're a bad guy by betting? Well, you shouldn't like that people think you're a cheater. So let's bring the hand wrap out if you have it. If not, tell us that you went in the locker room, just threw it away.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're not asking you to do anything extra. We're just asking you to follow the rules.
That's
right. It. We're not asking you to preserve them or put them in some sort of fucking ointment so they can be preserved by any stretch of the imagination. It's just like, no. Just follow the rules. Just leave them there. Just leave them there. Leave them in the ring. Leave them there.
Commissioner.
Yeah. And
you gotta leave a blood test. You should leave the hand wraps. Just saying.
Yeah, precisely. Oh man, definitely raises a couple of questions though. It most certainly will now put him and the Raps, his next fight, under a microscope, right? We're gonna look a little closer next time around. And mind you, if the next time around is against Canelo, well, I mean, chances are there's gonna be a lot of cameras on him, so I'm sure we're gonna be paying very close attention there. If it isn't, whatever. But I'm sure we're gonna pay very, very good attention next time around to see not just the rapping initially, but also whether or not he leaves him in the ring next time.
And Miguel, and I don't believe the young man cheated at all. I don't like that they have two videos of the same thing when Andy Lee's clearly saying that it was a commissioner that told him not to do it. Well, now we have you guys doing it twice, though. Right? Yeah. So it's not just a commissioner thing. You kind of have a history of not taking off the left hand. We have 2 fights where you did it. So that's it. Is just them clearing up their own mess. That's the mess they created by not following the rules.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, they kind of did it to themselves. They kind of unnecessarily brought a lot of attention on them by doing that. Rather intentionally or unintentionally, they definitely did it without any need. If everything was legitimate, and we're not calling him a cheater because we don't know. But when you act that way, it raises some eyebrows. What you're saying?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up all the stories I had. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk about, Andrew? Anything that came up, or any breaking news that you want to pull up, or anything along that line? Because yeah, that's pretty much all I had on my end.
No, hats off to Usyk and Pacquiao. Both solidified even more this weekend. Great examples of athletes or boxers to our kids. Both men have been. So hats off to them, and get a farewell tour in Northern California.
Manny,
yes, sir. Let's get Manny over in San Francisco, man. Oh, ticket prices.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on, bro.
Okay. We'll sneak it
I
on
know
in.
I'm
We'll sneak
supposed
it
to be
on.
cooking. I'm supposed to be barbecuing right now, but we gotta go
Okay.
real fast. The
Okay.
fans need to know the bullshit that they're doing down at Allegiant Stadium.
All right. So if I'm pulling it up here real quick, what did you see in regards to like the ticket prices? I'm pulling them up right now because
Really,
yes.
really, Miguel. It's not about the front row. We knew the front row is gonna be 18 grand, 15 grand, right?
Hmm.
It's what they're charging the blue collar guys in the back. I want to say I see some 1200s up there. I think I seen some 700. I'm like, Miguel, 700, and you're on the third deck.
Ooh.
It. I don't know how they're gonna sell this, man. People don't really spend that type of money for events that they can't see. It, I think it's gonna hurt the sales of that fight. I don't know. I think they went a little bit too greedy on the top. But yeah, if you haven't pulled it up yet, it looks like you ain't getting in any cheaper than maybe 500.
Damn it! If my phone was a little faster, it would give me some more details here. But did you when you saw that? Did you see it on like Ticketmaster or was it StubHub
No,
or was it?
it was this reel that I sent you. I seen on
Oh,
Instagram something like that, and I sent it to you. It had like the stadium, and you know how they have the different sections of them lit up on what the prices were. Could have swore I sent it to you, unless I don't know. Did they delete it already? Maybe
oh
it was
gosh,
fake.
I would not be surprised if that was the case.
Oh, shut
Uh,
up, Miguel, because it's me. See, Miguel doesn't even trust my information
I
anymore.
need your sources, okay? You need to start giving me your fucking sources here because I don't. I'm not sure if I can. You know, if Sheeraz is over here fucking wrapping hands, I don't know what's going on in the Lapiche household with these fucking these damn Instagram posts.
My
Um,
reels always get deleted.
I know exactly. Seems kind of fishy that every single time and two different athletic commissions, Andrew, your reels be being deleted here. But yeah, let's hope that they don't gouge the living shit out of fans because this fight is going to take place in Allegiant Stadium, which is I think holds what 70,000 if I'm not mistaken, up to at least. So I anticipate that even the nosebleeds will be at least fucking affordable. At least we hope because I've been to to UFC cards and I've sat way the fuck up in the nosebleeds and that shit was $500 fucking dollars. I'm just saying. So I'm hoping that on top of the fact that they're going to have this fight for free on Netflix, that people can go, people can attend the fight. It's not like if it's going to be that big of an event, you want to have as many people to go as possible. I know they're going to cater to the elite as far as front row seats and even like floor seats in the bowl, etc. But for the nosebleeds, please make them affordable, guys. I mean, the blue
So
collar guy wants to.
it looks like we're sitting, and maybe this is the second deck, but you're looking at $1,000 from $570 to $1,087 for the second deck. That's what you're looking at. And those 570s, those are up in the corner, man. They're like up in the corner.
Jeez.
Yeah, everything that's even 13 grand, 18 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand. 900. At least they got some $900 ones that don't look like they're too far. Those are probably hot as shit, man. They have some $900 seats there, at least in some decent areas, as long as what this map is showing.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't understand how the nosebleeds could be so high. I $1,000 to sit in the second deck.
Yeah, that's for one ticket, right?
That's for one ticket.
So you want to bring your chick on a date? She better marry you.
22. Yeah, you're looking at 2,200, and that's not with taxes, bro, and all that the other special little fees they bring.
Yeah, not in addition to drinks. You're gonna want to buy some drinks while you're there. Maybe some food afterwards, but some drinks you're gonna want to pregame for this one. So, guys, please, guys, this is the way. This is my Triple G impersonation when he talks to Max. Like Max, come on, please, guys, come on,
That's good.
guys. But we will definitely get some more information and figure out what the fuck's going on with this damn ticket situation by next week. Next weekend, we have ourselves Xander Zayas in action, possibly for the vacant WBO super welterweight title. So chances are we're going to be talking about that one next week because we just saw Sebastian Fernor beat the living snot off of Tim Tszyu. So definitely we're going to look into next week's fight and talk about those results. But if we have nothing else, Andrew, I think we're pretty much done. Let's go ahead and let Andrew go because he's got to go cook for the fam. For my co-host Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache. This has been Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you once more for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your work week. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.